Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining me today. My name is General Confusion, and this is Missionforce Cyberstorm. Now, this is another old game from my childhood. I used to play this when I was, I don't know, 10? This was a game that I don't actually remember where my family got it from. My sister had it, as I recall, had the original CD. And since then I managed to get hold of another copy, which is the CD that I'm using now, but the exciting thing about this for me is that this game hasn't worked on modern operating systems for a good 13, 14 years. There were workarounds that you could do to play it on a virtual machine, but on my computer I've had trouble even with that, so I haven't been able to play this game for a very long time, and I think this game is worth playing. I might go so far as to say that I think this is one of the best, if not or better at least, mech strategy games on PC to this day, despite being released in '97. Missionforce Cyberstorm is part of the Earthsiege, Starsiege Tribes universe, which ended with Tribes, I think it was Tribes Ascend in 2012, which is now all freeware. But this was sort of an intermediary game inserted between the Earthsiege games, Earthsiege 1 and Earthsiege 2, and the Starsiege Tribes games.
Ogre.
So, in this game, the players have... I'm sorry, it was starting to go into the introduction again, but the introduction is broken. This is just a side effect of the process necessary to get the game to work, I believe. In any case, this game takes place far in the future, in the 3000-somethings, I believe, where humanity, after fighting a war with the Cybrids, which were intelligent AIs that humanity created for military purposes that then went rogue, led by a giant brain called Prometheus. So after that war, and the Cybrids being driven off Earth, humanity has expanded into the stars, led by large corporations, and you play an employee of a corporation, Unitech. And it's very cyberpunk. There are lots of reasons I like this game. The brutal, hard combat, the detailed mech simulation, every different part is simulated and can take hits and damage and has to be repaired and dealt with individually. The wide variety of weapons and equipment options that you have to sort through. Your bioderms, which are your genetically engineered clone pilots that you use to pilot these Hercs. The enemy variety. The combat itself is very good and very smooth, I think, very well done. And the sort of the dark cyberpunk atmosphere of the whole game is also, worth mentioning. It's thought-provoking and it's interesting, and there's a twist at the end of the game that some people might like. I enjoy it. I don't know if you don't like twist endings, you might not like it, but we'll see it when we get there. I am going to do a full playthrough of this game. It might not quite be as fast as my other two currently ongoing playthroughs. Although this is a shorter game than Alpha Centauri for sure, so we might get through it before Alpha Centauri is finished. In any case, let's start. We're going to play single player, start a new career. We're going to be playing on normal because, frankly, hard can be just unfair sometimes. And I don't play these games for challenge so much as for enjoyment and to show them off. And believe me, on normal, some missions will be challenging nonetheless. Okay. I'll read the first few of these text boxes just to sort of set the ambiance. Excerpt from Base Commander Marcus Burrells addressed to new recruits Mox Tan's Herc Base. Now you belong to me. From the moment you stepped off that shuttle, you became the property of Unitech. You think that because you survived the academy that I should be impressed. Here's a hard dose of reality. Unitech does not give a damn about you. All Unitech cares about is the bottom line. Are you making us money or costing us money? At this moment, these machines you see here are worth more to this consortium than your lives. It is your job to change this. Ensigns are allowed to own 3 derms and 3 Hercs. You have been assigned 2 Hercs linked to 2 bioderms. Use your personal credits however you see fit. You prove to us that you can make Unitech more profitable without blowing yourself up, and maybe we'll let you command more. If you screw up, we'll strand you on a barren moon somewhere with a beacon strapped around your neck, guaranteed to attract every cybrid in the sector. Welcome to the frontier, gentlemen. So this tells you a little bit about who Unitech are, what their corporate values are. Their corporate value is money, and not you. Okay, this is the introduction to bioderms. So, human physiology simply didn't keep pace with its technology. We created machines and weapons that required superhuman reflexes and abilities. What was our solution? To create beings that could be directly bio-linked to the machines. So these are bioderms. Bioderms are clones, or mostly human clones, created from human genetic material that are designed to have superhuman reflexes and be able to be directly mentally linked to Hercs, which are the giant robots. And there's some more fluff here that you can read. You can pause the video and read this if you like. And here we have an introduction to our first two Herc types, the Shadow and the Remora. The Shadow is extremely fast. It's a very light scout Herc. It has no armor worth mentioning. Its weapons are very weak, but it can see a long distance and move very fast. The Remora is basically the Shadow, but with more weapon slots. It has a couple of extra weapons, and it can use all three main weapon types, which is a significant advantage. So we'll talk about that more a little later. And here is the Herc Base. So there are 4 main areas of the Herc Base. There's the Herc Bay, where you buy and manage your Hercs. There's the Bioderm Facility, where you buy and manage bioderms. There's the Herc Command Center, where you choose missions, and there's the launch mission, the launch pad, where you launch off on a combat mission and go to the combat screen. Our training mission is already selected. Well, I'll just pop in here to show you the Hercs. So we can click Purchase New Herc. This will be a list of all the Hercs that are available. Currently, we have Fast Shadow and Seiki Sunfire available. We have only 10,000 credits, so we can't actually afford a Seiki Sunfire. But, fortunately, we have been given one. So we have a Fast Shadow, and so you have this nice little wireframe over here. When you mouse over a part, it highlights that part. And all of these parts are individually hittable. You can't target specific enemy parts, but damage is randomized between them, and this is true of the Cybrids as well. All of the Cybrids have their own model, have their own parts to damage. You can't see it on the battle, you just see a silhouette that changes color as you do more damage. But individual parts are being damaged, and so very badly damaged Cybrids will move slower, or they'll have fewer weapons or something, and they also have repair modules, which we can get later on, so they can repair some of their own damage. So the Fast Shadow here has standard life support, targeting computer, sensor, shield, battery, reactor, all this stuff. Reactor rating and speed rating. Speed rating, of course, is how fast it moves, and reactor rating is how much energy it has and regenerates per turn. Life support keeps your bioderm alive, and if you take a direct hit to the life support, your pilot is likely to die, leaving your Herc a useless hulk on the battlefield. Here are its hard points. The Shadow has 4 hard points. 2 are equipped with small, pathetic lasers, and 2 are equipped with small, pathetic missiles. It also has a bunch of miscellaneous shots which can be equipped with ore extractors or other cool things. Resupply drones that can resupply ammunition, ECM that reduces opponents' chance to hit, or more ore extractors. I actually am going to fit it with a second ore extractor because ore is money, and in this game, making money is paramount, because you need money in order to buy and equip your Hercs. Unitech gives you nothing for free. Well, I'm going to get myself another ore extractor. This is a crappy little cheap ore extractor, but it'll do for now. The Seiki Sunfire has same stuff up here, same stuff here, a much more powerful shield, twice as powerful, a much weaker sensor because it's not a scout Herc. It has the same crappy lasers, it has the same crappy missiles, but it also has 2 crappy autocannons. So these are the 3 main weapon types: energy, ballistic, and missile. And you can see if you click here, it tells you, it gives a little blurb description, tells you how many hexes it can fire. This game is played on a hex-based grid. How many times it can shoot per turn, its energy cost, damage for shields and armor, and penetrating damage, which is damage that it can deal through shields directly to something covered by shields. Energy weapons tend to have very low penetrating damage, very low damage versus armor, and high damage versus shields. Ballistic weapons tend to have high damage versus armor, no damage versus shields, or very little, and some penetrating damage, and missiles are almost entirely damage versus armor as well. So some ballistic weapons are kind of hybrids. They can do damage to shields and armor, but mostly they're damage dealers once the shields are down. So basically you use energy weapons to take down shields, missiles and cannons to do damage past those shields once you've taken them down. So I don't really have enough money to buy another Herc. Let's look at the Bioderm Facility real quick. So here, in the Bio Vat, you can create new Bioderms. Currently we have access to 3 protoderms, which are sort of made up of the genetic material that was left over after they made all the cool ones. And they're terrible. Here they have their skill ratings. These are out of 100%. It's a percentile-based system. So you can see Model 001 is bad at everything. Model 101 is slightly better with missiles, but still bad at everything. And Model 110 is slightly better with elf weapons and cannons, but also bad at everything. Over here are 3 important bioderm stats: health, stability, and toxins. Health goes down when life support takes a hit, and when toxins fills up, I believe health also goes down. Stability goes down when you use combat drugs on them, which you can do. That's always an option. Combat drugs increase their stats, but also increase toxins and lower stability. And toxins goes up whenever you use anything on them. I think it may also go up when life support is badly damaged on a toxic planet, but frankly I haven't seen that very much. Usually if you take a hit to the life support, your bioderm just dies. Certainly later in the game. On Medvat, you can heal injured or toxified bioderms. And in the VR training, you can pay credits in order to train them to make them better at stuff. I'm not going to waste money training these 2 monkeys that I have right now in anything. It's just not worth it. I'm not going to keep them, basically.
Herc Base.
So we're going to launch our training mission.
Launch initiated.
Okay, so objective, destroy the lone cybrid structure on Tirith. So we're fighting the cybrids. Unitech is out here, they're mining ore, they're claiming territory, they're making money for themselves, but they're also fighting the cybrids. This is a highly militarized corporation, as we could see from that briefing screen, where there were a bunch of Herc commanders being recruited. And, oh, hey, we started in the middle of an ore deposit, so you know what? Instead of going straight after the cybrid structure, I'm going to mine all this ore. Now, Tirith is one of many planets. There are 7 planets per system, and there are 3 systems that you go to. Tirith, and each system has different characteristics like gravity, atmosphere, that kind of thing. Tirith is low gravity, so your Hercs can move further in one turn, and airless, so if you take a lot of life support damage, your bioderm will just straight up die. Down here you can see the more interesting things here. You can see a basic display about the bioderm. You can see the Herc wireframe, which will change colors if it gets damaged. Here's its available reactor energy for this turn, which is what you use to move around and shoot weapons. And here's its battery energy, or reserve energy, which gets recharged. Every turn, this recharges. And if you have extra left over, if you had some left over at the end of the last turn, then this will recharge to some degree as well. Normally what happens is you use all of this for moving and then some of your battery energy to fire weapons. And that won't recharge until you have a turn where you don't use up all of this. So energy management actually becomes important, especially when you have a lot of high energy weapons, like when you have some Hercs later on that get 4 or 6 energy weapons. Okay, you can move both your Hercs each turn, cycle through them with the arrows near the pilot's face. Or you can just click on them. That also works. One second. Sorry, something was happening with my phone. So I'm going to mine these minerals up. As you can see from the different colors, there are several different terrain types. You can right-click to bring up information over here. Jagged surface gives you a penalty to offense. It has a high move cost, height of 2. Over here, on the other hand, this level surface has a move cost that is only, a 1/6 of the jagged surface, and its height of 7. Height becomes very important because, of course, it determines visibility, and it gives you cover from enemy shots. This crater here gives you a defensive bonus of 1, which is nice. So you can use this as a little bit of cover as well. And you can also crouch your Hercs to make them a smaller target. So, right now there is a mission that I should theoretically be completing, but it'll wait until I've filled up my ore extractors. Okay, he's full, so he will now go off in search of the objective, which should be in the middle of the minimap. You may notice his says up, there it is. So this is a Cybrid light turret. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our shields, put our shields full towards it because we don't want to be shot to death. So down here in the bottom right corner, you can see my chance to hit. It's not great because Model 101 is terrible. But I'll fire my lasers at it. I won't even bother shooting these because they wouldn't do any damage through the shields. It shot at me and hit, but did not penetrate my shields because they were focused towards it. With a small force like yours, stay together. That'll concentrate your firepower. Nah. That turret is all that's left of the Cybrid's Mox Draconis mining facility. Interesting. Okay, I hit it with a laser. That's nice. He's just gonna keep on mining. Oh, that turret hit me twice. Get both your Hercs to fire every weapon, every round. No need to hold back. Nah, I just don't... Okay, so when it flashes white like that, and it pops up here, you know, I've broken the shield, so now... I can deal damage right through it. So now it's about halfway damaged, according to that yellow little and it hasn't managed to penetrate my shields yet, although my shield strength is going down. Shields do regenerate each round, some, but usually not as much as you're being damaged by, if you're being damaged at all. Okay, we've destroyed the turret. So yay, we've accomplished our objective. Go team. And we filled up our ore extractors. So, are we done here? Good job destroying that turret. Return to your Herc carrier for evacuation. What if I want to look around, though? I feel like I want to look around. Nothing here.
Movement.
Maybe I'll just crouch to be on the safe side.
Movement.
Oh, we've detected a Cybrid. It's heading your way. Either get back to the Herc carrier or fight it. I'm gonna fight it.
Warning, enemy detected.
Okay, here we have our first real live Cybrid, or real machine, mechanical Cybrid. It's an Arachnus V1. Every Cybrid has version numbers. This is a V1, so it's not very dangerous. We're going to swing around behind it where its shields are weak. See, my battery energy has replenished. And fire my lasers. Now, it got reaction fire, which Cybrids can do. You can't do that, but Cybrids can. If they have energy available, they can turn around and shoot at you. Shoot any unfired weapons in your direction. Okay, didn't manage to bring its shields down. It might hurt us.
Down.
Yep, it took down the shields on the fast shadow, and you can see here, when I take a little bit of damage, my wireframe changes color to let me know, which is handy. So now we're going to get the Seiki Sunfire around here. Firing from lower elevation, so his chance to hit isn't quite what it could be, but I took the shields down anyway.
Weapons
and we just pummel it with all of our guns. Alright, there we go. Cybrid threat eliminated. We've destroyed the remaining structure at the Mox Draconis facility, and we've killed the Cybrid. Now we come back here, we get all our points. We mined 1,200 units of ore, destroyed 2 Cybrids, counting the turret. So we got the ore mining bonus. We get a small payment for auto-mining all remaining ore in the area when we leave, even if we didn't mine any of it ourselves. It's a lot more profitable to mine it ourselves. We got 2,000 credits for the Cybrid bounty, 5,292 credits as a bonus, so overall we cleared 20,000 credits and we were promoted to unit leader. And here you can see the status of our Hercs and our bioderms. We will have to repair that damaged Herc, which will cost us money, because remember, Unitech doesn't give you anything. Okay, so we've been promoted to unit leader. We can now command 4 Hercs and 4 bioderms. And Base Commander Burl has something else to say to us. Listen to that eerie little soundtrack in the background. I really like the ambiance of this game. I would really recommend that anyone who's interested in cyberpunk sci-fi or mech games, or either or both, find a way to get this game. I think you can still buy CDs floating out there, floating around, or you may be able to find it on abandonware sites. But see if you can get this game and try it out for yourself. The recruits don't need to know about stolen BGMs. BGMs, base genetic matrices, those are the things that bioderms are made from. So the Cybrids are apparently stealing them. Interesting. I'm more interested in this Prometheus, the central Cybrid mind. No word of it for centuries, and then Prometheus code appears in downed Cybrids when BGM samples are stolen. It's too coincidental. So Prometheus was the giant mind that led the Cybrids during the Earthsiege way back when. So it's apparently not been around for hundreds of years, and now all of a sudden it's shown up again. Curious. So now we have access to all the bioderms, which we can, of course, pay money to have. And we will never use the protoderms again because they're awful. They're inferior to some of these in every way. It's interesting. Frank Tarsus has something interesting to say here. So they say it's an honor to have your genes selected for the BGM bank. I say it's crap. We never really die. Imagine an army of meat robots, jacked up, biolinked, and wearing your face, all being ordered around by young greenhorns fresh from mommy's teat. Sounds like someone's idea of hell, if you ask me. And more about the cybrids being interested in bioderms. Once again, you can always pause the video and read all this for yourself. And now we have access to 3 new classes of Herc as well. We've got the Ogre, the Sensei, and the Giant.
Your rank entitles you
Let's go into the Herc Base to look at them real quick.
Herc Base.
So we also have access to, we can, of course, we can modify these ourselves and get whatever loadout we want, subject to certain technology restrictions. But they also, they offer the bases for much smaller prices, and then we have to buy everything to put on them. Or they offer some basic standard loadouts, most of which are pretty crap. So we've got the Shadow, the Remora, the Sensei, the Ogre, and the Giant. The Ogre, here, I'll look at the stock Ogre for you. The Ogre has heavier armor because it's bigger than either of our current Hercs, a better shield, and it's equipped with 2 large energy weapons or medium-sized energy weapons, 2 small energy weapons, and then 2 cannons. So this is an energy weapon Herc. It's fairly independent. You can equip it with pretty decent autocannons that do relatively decent damage, and you can equip it with some energy weapons that also do damage past shields. So it can operate pretty much on its own. It does really, however, want to be paired with this. The Giant. The Giant is entirely cannon weapons, ballistic weapons. So it does not do any damage to shields, practically, with a couple of small exceptions. But it does a lot of damage to armor, and it's what you want for pounding down cybrids after you've lowered their shields. It's also quite slow, unfortunately. And then we also have access to the Sensei, and the Sensei is literally just a Shadow but bigger. It's a little slower, it's tougher, it still has those great scout sensors that the Shadow had, and it has more weapons. It has access to pretty much the same kinds of weapon loadout that the Remora could get. So it's like a Remora in a bigger Shadow chassis with the better sensors. It's an excellent scout and command Herc, and generally I will try to have one in all of my deployments. And bioderm-wise, we now have a ton of bioderms available, ranging from Tola, who costs a whopping 50 grand because he's great at everything, all the way down to, who's the cheapest? Oh yeah, Kyoko, who is pretty bad at everything, but also has, but learns pretty quickly, and is very cheap, so I may use some Kyokos. But, okay, I think that's going to be it for this video. So we've gone through the training mission, we've gotten our start, we've got things sort of set up, and we'll be ready to launch off on our spectacular career as a Unitech military employee. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. More content like this will be coming to you on the regular. I'll be doing this series probably once or twice a week. You know, working it around Alpha Centauri and Ultimate General Civil War, which I need to complete. Ultimate General Civil War won't last very long, so I may move this into a main slot after Ultimate General Civil War is finished with. But in any case, thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.